So already might again, might both might and not might again. So it help cut for one another, end for one another, on and on. And all together, not about focusing here, there, anything, but everything all the same. So that it is the great compassion, the great thought. That is it. Already might again, might both might and not might again. As long as there is samsara, you have to keep on cutting for one another, end for one another, constantly. To end for one another, so it won't be trouble. To enlighten and cut for one another, to avoid problem, to avoid any trouble. There is trouble and problem because we don't help one another to end, but we help one another to create more and more mess. You already might again, might both might and not might, and all together with everything, everything all together at once. If you don't help one another to end, to enlighten, what then? You're gonna keep on creating karma toward one another. Let it be beyond both narrow and big heart. Everything in a way that there is no limit. Beyond even the beyond. Not grasping the non-grasping again. Not grasping both grasping and not grasping again. So there is no limit, no boundary in dissolving, cleansing, or it is the emptiness that dissolves. Don't focus, don't just anything. Sitting, standing, whatever, don't focus. Don't identify with anything that is attachment. Still about conditioned state of the mind, body, mind, that is attachment. Don't just anything. Go beyond that, beyond both might and not might, might, both might and not might. It dissolved, it let go of both might and not might. It's beyond let go and not let go. Let go of both let go and not let go. Let it be beyond both might and not might, might, both might and not might. Not grasping. Let it be beyond both grasping and not grasping. Not grasping both grasping and not grasping. So it has no limit in dissolving, in cleansing, or it is the emptiness that dissolves. Let it be beyond both might and not might. Might, both might and not might. So it dissolves without limit. Nibbana that dissolves the samsara. Don't focus here, there. It's annoying. It's disturbing. It's like you block your mind. The attachment blocking your mind when you focus, when you identify. Let it be beyond both might and not might. Might, both might and not might. So it is the relax that relax. It's like a blooming lotus. Let go of the blooming. Blooming out of the blooming itself. Might. Released from the might itself. Liberated from the might itself when it is might, both might and not might. Let it be beyond both let go and not let go. By let go, both let go and not let go. Said, a lotus blooming out of the blooming itself, liberated from the blooming itself. When you let go, the letting go itself. That is let go, liberated from the letting go. Let go of both let go and not let go. Everything. Not grasping, liberated from the not grasping itself. Not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. You already might again. Might, both might and not might again. So it is the ending for one another, constantly end for one another, enlighten for one another. If you don't cut for one another or enlighten for one another, it will become trouble for one another. Constantly help one another to end, to enlighten. Don't be difficult. It isn't about anything. When you not identify, the not identifying. That's why I said might, both might and not might. That is to end both end and not end, to cut both cut and not cut. If you don't might, it won't be a cut, because we have a lot of attachment, habit attached to Dhamma, to my state. So cut, both cut and not cut. That is to might, both might and not might. And it won't be a samsara, won't be a cycle. Why do I have to say to cut, both cut and not cut constantly? Because there's always samsara. That's why we have to constantly cut. That is the great compassion. We're not doing it for ourselves. Together, end together. That's why we have to assume our great compassion. Might already, might again. Might, both might and not might again, together with everything. That is the power to enlighten. All and everything will have the same power, same essence. With everything, all and everything. If you don't end for one another, it will be trouble, a lot of troubles, a lot of conflicts, arguments, fighting with one another. If you don't end for one another, it will be conflict. Not grasping, liberated from the not grasping itself. Not grasping, both grasping and not grasping. Might, cut the might itself. Might, both might and not might. Might, cut the might itself. With might, both might and not might. Wherever you are, enlighten for everything. Wherever you go, stop and end for everything. Enlighten for everything.
ไปแล้วไปเป็นตัวยุ่งช่วยกันไม่ใช่ไปแล้วก็ไปเพิ่มตัว
Don't
ช่วยกัน
go anywhere and create more trouble, more karma.
ช่วยกันในการอยู่ไม่ใช่อยู่ตรงไหนก็จบตัว
Wherever you are,
ตัวเขาอยู่
in
ช่วยกัน
the being, the living for one
ช่วย
another.
กันตรงไหนจะได้ตัดสรู้ช่วยกันได้เรื่อยๆตัดสรู้
Wherever you are, enlighten for one another. Help one another to enlighten, to end.
ทุกอย่างนี่
Everything. Open up.
เดี่ยวนี่ everything นี่
Everything.